Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Sandra Wick. I'm the crop production agent for the Post-Rock District of K-State Research and Extension. Today we have a special guest with us, Dr. Dan O'Brien. He is our ag economist in the Northwest Extension region in the Colby office. So, Dan, can you tell us real briefly just your role as an ag economist for the producers of Kansas and to our extension staff out here in the Northwest area as well?
Well, I have statewide responsibilities in looking at grain market outlook, and also um, uh, coming up with annual cost of production estimates. We do that kind of as a team, several of us together. I help out as well with with any farm bill education activities that come along.
So, Dan, why don't you tell us? And I know farmers, unfortunately, the grain markets have been very challenging in the last couple of years. So, what do you foresee, or what is the market outlook for soybeans in 2020?
Well, I would say we've come out of a rough and raucous 2019. Planting problems, not in a number of parts of the country. We ended up, even though we had some of those challenges too, it came out better yield wise than some of our neighbors to the north and to the east. By north, I mean North South Dakota
Exactly.
and the Eastern Corn Belt. So we have some bushels to deal with, and we're thankful for that. One thing I think to be aware of that ag producers, as we've talked to them at these meetings, are aware of is that we're probably going to see, if at all possible, a return to normal acreage. We have moisture right now, so there's some risk, even if we get higher production, if we get higher exports, that out there in 2020 is a large U.S. soybean crop,
Okay.
and
So,
that we'll have to look at that in the market.
right. So producers understand, and I hope the public understands, we are so dependent globally on other countries as well, not only the United States, as far as what the markets do and how they react.
Yes, we have a world ag commodity market, particularly for soybeans, and the shifting flows of soybean purchases between the United States on the one hand, South American countries, Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay on the other, are those are the key determinant suppliers of soybeans around the world, and if they have a crop problem in Brazil, we see the benefit of that price rise up here, and if they have a great crop down there, we see the other side of it.
Correct, correct. So, what can producers do out there to equip themselves as far as maybe trying to figure out a marketing plan?
Well, I think that knowing, of course, basic of what profitable opportunities are for grain is of course important. And our north central Kansas numbers at 41 bushels per acre for non-irrigated soybeans show about 750 to 775 break even. To manage the risk of that, crop insurance purchases be a big issue to protect oneself from having crop problems out there.
Okay.
But without question, right now we have prices that, although they're not tremendous soybean prices for new crop 2020, still they seem to be above cost of production if our KSU numbers are accurate.
Okay. And I'm going to go back to your responsibility, how you put together the cost of production. That's probably very critical for producers to know what their cost of production is, so they know if the price that they're locking in or they're getting is truly a break even, or if they have any profit.
It's kind of a three-step process. The first is that we look at our Farm Management Association enterprise records to make sure that we're not inconsistent with them.
Right.
And then secondly, we, as ag economists, myself, my colleagues, we work with our agronomists and irrigation engineers to make sure that we're, and entomologists, whoever, to make sure that we are representing a fair and accurate cost of production and management program, and then we publish those and get feedback from people. Sometimes that to the degree that, well, sometimes they'll say, well, you're right on, or they say, how'd you do that? So when we get feedback from people, we listen and come back and make adjustments to those budgets.
Well, I think that's very good that what you mentioned there too. Our Kansas Farm Management Association, there are tools available online, at our Ag Manager website, which is www.agmanager.info. These farm management guides are on there available to you as a producer to help you if you don't know your cost of production. You can certainly use those as a guide.
Yep.
And you can go either on their webpage or contact us at any of our Post-Rock Extension District offices in Beloit, Lincoln, Mankato, Osborne, or Smith Center, or go to our webpage at www.postrock.ksu.edu. This has been Sandra Wick. Thanks for joining us today. I am the Crop Production Agent with the Post-Rock Extension District and with K-State Research and Extension. I want to thank Dan O'Brien, our Ag Economist for the Northwest region, for joining us as well, and we will talk with you later.